All right, you're calling this morning for the government to order an independent cost-benefit analysis of a closer trading relationship with the EU.
Yeah.
Forgive me for putting it this way, it's a bit wimpish, isn't it? You obviously just want a closer relationship. Why don't you just say, we want a new customs arrangement, we want to be in with the EU?
We've said that. In the last general election manifesto, we were easily the most pro-European of the political parties. I said it on many programmes. And I made a speech just a week or so ago calling for a UK-EU customs union. And the reason is this. Many people are really worried about the cost of living still. Many people are worried about our public services and where's the growth going to come from to pay for the investment we need in our health and our schools and so on. And it's really clear to me that a UK-EU customs union is the best way and the quickest way of getting that growth to lower the prices so people's shopping baskets aren't so expensive, and to get the growth so we get the tax revenues in so we can afford the social care reforms that Liberal Democrats are championing, for example. So we really do want that UK-EU customs union, and I've been advocating it very strongly.
And you'd be prepared to accept what we know already would be the EU's price for that, which is more freedom of movement between the UK and the EU?
Well, actually, that's not quite true. The freedom of movement comes with a single market, not the customs union. You are right to say, however, that the EU has proposed a youth mobility scheme, which has been rejected by both the Conservatives and Labour parties. We think it's a really good idea. We want to negotiate it. We're not quite convinced of some of the details are on the table, but I think there's a negotiation there. And the reason why is that we do want our young people in our country, British young people, to be able to travel and work and study and live across the European neighbours. And we also think that employers here would benefit from some of the talents that we could have to help, again, boost our economy. But the youth mobility scheme is different from free movement to labour.
Let me ask you about a curious thing. It's a matter of curiosity for me about your position on the EU. Right now, the European Union's leading members are led by people like Giorgia Meloni, Viktor Orban, parties like Sweden Democrats. There's a chance of Marine Le Pen coming into power in France, and a great likelihood that the AfD will be very influential in Germany in 3 weeks' time after the elections. Is that the European Union you dreamed of getting close to?
Look, sometimes countries who are your long-standing allies have people in charge you don't agree with. So I don't agree with President Trump, but I think we have to try to get a deal with him and try to work with him, probably in different ways than we've dealt with past presidents. And equally in Europe, there are, as you quite rightly say, some prime ministers, presidents in EU countries whose views I don't share and Liberal Democrats don't share. However, our nations share similar interests. There's a war on the European continent, and the vast majority of those more right-wing leaders that you mentioned in Europe are against Putin's invasion on Ukraine. They realise it threatens our defence and security. And one of the ways I'm making the case, whether it's on a UK-EU customs union or more cooperation with our European allies more broadly, is because our trade, prosperity and economic prospects depend on better relations than the Conservatives managed to achieve. In fact, they completely made those relations appalling. Plus, through NATO and through something called the Joint Expeditionary Force, JEF, we can work with our European neighbours far more effectively to make sure we have the defence and security our country needs.
Forgive me for hurrying you up, Ed Davey, but I just want to take 30 seconds to give you the chance to answer something. I guess you're now internationally famous, having been described by Elon Musk as a snivelling cretin. Would you like to respond?
Listen, Trevor, I've been in politics for long enough to know that there are insults made, and I'm sometimes not always complimentary about people like Elon Musk. However, the real issue of substance is that Elon Musk said that the British government, elected by the British people just a few months ago, should be overthrown. That's what he said. And he's now in the administration in America. He's sort of camped out in Trump's Oval Office. And I think that's a real matter of concern. And he didn't like it when I said, when he says those things, Britain, through our ambassadors, through our government relations, need to call him out. And I repeat, I think Elon Musk needs to be held to account, both by President Trump for the comments he made about the UK, and actually this world's richest man who has all this power with his social media platform, and now, the best friend of the new President of the United States, is incredibly powerful, and I think he has to be held to account. And Britain, with our relationship with Europe, and Britain with our relationship with our European colleagues, needs to make sure that calling out these over-powerful billionaire US tech magnates like Elon Trump, we can't allow them to get away